everybody? Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Vader 400, and of course, the brown skinned human here, back at you with another review, and this time, this is my review of the entire 90s Mortal Kombat franchise. That is, adaptation franchise. That is the Mortal Kombat movies, the Malibu the Malibu Blood and Thunder Battle Wave style comic books, um, and of course the Mortal Kombat Conquest television series. Yes, reviewing all of these things together because all of these things are connected. All of these things are connected, and like I said, I'm doing the tie-in reviews right now. So yeah, this review is pretty much the same as every other review I've been doing, but this is my brand new series where I review the movies or comic books, or in some cases the games, but I review it with something that goes with the franchise. And the Mortal Kombat movies took elements from the video games and these comic books produced by Malibu, which Malibu took things from the games but also created and developed their own character and storylines within the game that would also later become canon to the actual video game Mortal Kombat series. So that's what I'm doing in this particular Mortal Kombat video and review here. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Doesn't matter what you think of this new video and style, because as always, this is my world, and I'm the hero. And one more thing before I continue with this video that I almost forgot. This is also, like I said, this is also like my fourth or fifth review of the Mortal Kombat film series, just like Dragon Ball Evolution. I've reviewed Mortal Kombat a lot on here. The Mortal Kombat movies are two of my all-time favorite films. I've reviewed Conquest once. I've reviewed Mortal Kombat Conquest once on here. This will be a longer, full-length review with this review here. This is also my thoughts on the upcoming Mortal Kombat film that will be coming in 2021. And it will star, I think his name is Ludi Lin, the guy who portrays Zack in the Power Rangers 2017 reboot movie. He will be appearing as Liu Kang. So it's also my thoughts on the upcoming Mortal Kombat reboot, which of course, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think it's going to be good, but I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Time for the second intro theme. Mortal Kombat! Finish him! Get over here! Oh, This is part 2 of my long Mortal Kombat 90s adaptation review, and the very first part in this review is, of course, as you can see by the picture here, is the Mortal Kombat, the 1994 and 95 Mortal Kombat Malibu based comic books. Unlike the original series, the original Mortal Kombat comic books, which of course were produced by Midway, those were tie-ins with the video games. Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 4. Those were tie-ins with the video games. This right here is a spin-off, what if, alternate world, what if Mortal Kombat. It features the tournaments from the games, but these comic books also feature, well, at least the first 6 comic books, Blood and Thunder, feature a mysterious book called the Book of Tao Zendan, that grants its reader unimaginable power. But however, in order to unlock this power, you have to crack the riddles. The second part of the series, which is called Mortal Kombat Battle Wave, focuses on the Mortal Kombat 2 section of the series. Battle Wave and another series called Tournament Edition 1. They focus on the Mortal Kombat 2 section of the game, and this comic book features a rebellion led by Kung Lao, featuring Katana and Baraka against Shao Kahn and his henchmen Scorpion and Reptile, Jade, and of course Smoke. And yeah, the storyline concludes in another comic book called Tournament Edition 2, where Sub-Zero, the elder Sub-Zero, who's a good guy in this comic book, saves the world by retrieving an amulet, which would later, a lot of these elements that are introduced here in this comic book series will become true in the actual video games canon, the movies, and of course the 1995 movie, which I'm going to talk about right after this review right here. But let's go back to the Mortal Kombat comic books. The only things I don't like about this comic books is the messy artwork, particularly featuring the characters Liu Kang and Jax. Let's start off with Jax. Jax looks nothing like his Mortal Kombat character. He looks like some random Afro-American, and the character Balrog from Street Fighter 2. Instead of resembling John Parrish, the actor who portrayed Jax in Mortal Kombat, the video games Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. Liu Kang, on the other hand, he looks like Ho-San Pak himself. He looks like his namesake self, but his costume design is messily. His costume and anatomy is messily is drawn so poorly. Everyone else looks awesome though, but those characters. This next problem I have with this comic book is how after the first 6 issues, because of the way these comic books, they were packaged in like four different volumes, and the storyline constantly jumps between storylines and characters. So that makes the storyline convoluted after Mortal Kombat, after the 6th issue of Blood and Thunder. That's the next problem I had with these various comic books right here. So those were the 2 problems I had. And there's a certain order you're supposed to read these comic books in. And to this day, I've not been able to read it in the right order, even after watching a long video by the TM Mack guy, the TM Mack guy, who's a huge Mortal Kombat fan, that user. does. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his YouTube username right, but after a long review featuring him, I still don't know the order to read these in. My favorites are the Blood and Thunder, Battle Wave, and both of the Tournament editions, Part 1 and 2. Part 1 and 2. This comic book is also bestly known for its original characters. You have Johnny Cage's bodyguard, Bo, and two other characters called Sing and Song, who, when they fuse together, they form a Shaolin monk called Cien Sung, a DBZ style fusion character in the series. I hated that he was. I hated first that him and Bo haven't been brought over to the video games, but I also hate that he was just here to get wasted by Goro and later killed off for good by Scorpion. But yeah, those were the Mortal Kombat Malibu comics. There's a review on my channel, but I'm gonna do a much longer review and rant in the future of the entire series. So that was Mortal Kombat, the Malibu comics. Now it's time for now it's time for the movies. The first is the 30-minute animated prequel, Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins, which this is a 30-minute animated prequel featuring Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya as they board Shang Tsung's boat, and land on to his island and land on his island and are guided by Raiden as they learn the backstories of the other characters and other fighters in the tournament and prepare for the Mortal Kombat tournament. This movie explains the backstories of the Mortal Kombat tournament and the backstories of how Shang Tsung took control of the tournament by defeating the original Grandmaster, Grandmaster, and it shows you the backstories of Goro, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. Kano, Reptile, and Kitana, who are also featured in Mortal Kombat, the 1995 Mortal Kombat film, which do not appear in this movie at all, and aren't referenced at all either. I think this movie is a cross between Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 4. 2 years before Mortal Kombat 4 would be created. This was an awesome prequel. This 30-minute prequel, in my opinion, was more true to Mortal Kombat and more so captured the spirit of Mortal Kombat, more so than the two live-action movies did. But this always gets me hyped to watch not only the first but both of the live-action martial arts movies, and features awesome voice acting from the likes of Jim Cummings, Jeff Bennett, and Jennifer Howe. So yeah, that was Mortal Kombat. The Journey Begins. What is after the Journey Begins? What is after the Journey Begins? What is after the Journey Begins? Yeah, it also has a behind the scenes of the 1995 Mortal Kombat film. Now it's time for the 1995 Mortal Kombat film, and this film right here was awesome and was released to mixed to negative reception, but a hugely positive reception from fans of the series, and is widely considered to be one of the best video game based movies of all time and the first successful film based on the video game after the box office flops that were Super Mario Brothers, Double Dragon, and of course the box office disappointment that was the critical disappointment that was Street Fighter 1994. So this movie right here, Mortal Kombat, is loosely based on Mortal Kombat's 1, but also features several elements from 2, such as Reptile, Outworld, Liu Kang's Shaolin Temple, the Temple of the Order of Light, and of course Kitana and Shang Tsung's youthful form, and the Emperor himself, who appears at the end of this film via special effects. This film follows Liu Kang, a Shaolin monk, Johnny Cage, an actor, and Sonya Blade, a special forces major, all led by the Thunder God Raiden, as they defend the realm of Earth in a tournament called Mortal Kombat, against Outworld led by Shang Tsung, Reptile, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Shang Tsung's right-hand man and previous Mortal Kombat champion Goro. Goro. So yeah, this movie was awesome. I first saw it in 1997. I saw a trailer for a VHS trailer in '96. I saw a trailer for this in 1997, and I've been a huge Mortal Kombat, and I've been a huge fan of this movie ever since. I used to rent this movie from Blockbuster all the time, and finally got to own the movie in 1998. I own it, and I own both movies on DVD. DVD now. So that's Mortal Kombat 19 Mortal Kombat 1995. Awesome fighting. That's the same style of fighting seen in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 with and the killer combos introduced in Killer Instinct from Mortal Kombat 3 and the pit fatality, the Mortal Kombat 1 pit fatality and various other fatalities and special base maneuvers. So yeah, that was Mortal Kombat 1995. Everything was awesome. Cast of characters, cast of actors. Everyone was awesome with the exception of Goro. He was the worst character in the film. He got beat up and outsmarted way too easily in comparison to how powerful he is and how tough he is in the games. But everyone else was good. The only things I didn't like about this film was even though it stayed close to the movies. It stayed close to the comic books or the video games. It it deviated from the video games in several areas, particularly with Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile. In this film, they're just nameless henchmen and cannon fodder who just get beat up and lose to the main heroes. When in the games, they had their own backstories and were heavily involved in the video games. Reptile is true to his story, but just gets wasted by Liu Kang. And Scorpion and Sub-Zero, while true to their personalities and moves, they're just they're just generic henchmen and slaves under Shang Tsung's power, which I, of course, did not like. I wish they would use their video game based stories in this film. So that was Mortal Kombat 1995. 1995, awesome cast of characters, cast of actors and actresses, and this film, movie and production wise, was way better than its sequel, and it's held up much better than its sequel has. Let's get to the second movie, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. This movie right here, was released to predominantly negative reception by critics and has a mixed to negative reception amongst fans of the series. Either you like it or you don't. I, for one, like this movie, and I consider it bigger and badder than the first film, and better adaptation and costume and fighting action and fighting wise than the very first Mortal Kombat film. This film is loosely based on Mortal Kombat 3, where Shao Kahn resurrects Sindel and is fed up with multiple losses in Mortal Kombat, invades Earthrealm anyway, and begins merging Outworld with Earthrealm, thus stripping every Earthling of its soul, with the exception of the Chosen Warriors. The Chosen Warriors have up to 7 days to find a way to defeat Khan and his extermination squads until the merge to prevent the merger from being complete and to prevent total annihilation. That's the plot to this movie. It's based on 3 but features elements from Mortal Kombat 2 and 4, such as Mortal Kombat 4's Shinnok is here, and he's Shao Kahn and Raiden's father, thus making Shao Kahn and Raiden brothers in this Mortal Kombat continuity. Only Robin Shao and Talisa Soto, the actors portraying Liu Kang and Katana, returned from the previous movies. Everyone else, for the most part, was recast, with the exception of Keith Cook, who portrays Reptile in the first movie, and he portrays the younger Sub-Zero here. Like I said, I thought this movie, Mortal Kombat wise and video game wise, was much better than the first one. More characters, more action. It had the cool 1994 Killer Instinct style killer combos that were later featured in Mortal Kombat 3. I like how it had the fatalities and the animality. I like how they made the animality a part of the storyline. The animality part of the storyline here. This also had had some of the special maneuvers, and this film along with this prequel were pretty good. In my opinion, were pretty good for '90s Mortal Kombat's adaptation. The biggest problem with this film was the budget. It was made with only $30 million. You need more than that to make Mortal Kombat, especially this particular Mortal Kombat adaptation. Robin Shao, who portrayed Liu Kang, Talisa Soto, who portrayed Katana, Brian Thompson, who portrayed Khan, Sandra Hess, who portrayed Sonya, and Lynn Red Williams, who portrayed Jax, in my opinion, were the MVPs and the stars of the films, with Jax himself probably being the sole MVP of this film. Other actors like Darren McBee portrayed Motaro, they did good too, and I love Scorpion and Sub-Zero. They were, even though they only made cameo appearances here, they were featured much better here than they were in the previous Mortal Kombat movies. Characters in this film include Liu Kang, Katana, Jax, Sonya Blade, Shao Kahn, Motaro, Ermac, Sindel, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Nightwolf, Rain, and Shiva, who those two characters got wasted. The second thing I didn't like. And Cabal and Stryker were mentioned but were never seen, which I also hated about this film. They were fought by Rain off screen. And Baraka, Smoke, and Cyrax were also in this film. Worst character in this film was Shinnok. Didn't even, for 10 years, didn't even know that was Shinnok in this movie, right? Because I think they only say his name once. Or I don't think they say his name at all. But what else? So that was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I mean, that was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I also love his soundtrack with this song. Well, I love all the songs with the song Megalomaniac, which portrays in the ending credits being the best song. So what else about this movie? What else about this movie right here? What else about this movie right here? Oh yeah. Yeah, I also thought it had a better costume design than the first movie, with everyone's costume, with the exception of Khan and Liu Kang's, being the best. Khan and Liu Kang had the worst costume. Let's start off with Liu Kang. I like the pants and feet part of his costume, but I didn't like the overly large shirt. The shirt from the first film was much better, and I hate how he never took the shirt off in the film. And Khan, I like the upper body and legs. I like the upper body and ankle and feet portion of his costume, but the pants part I thought was terrible. It makes the costume look incredibly cheesy. But yeah, that was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. After this movie was over, this movie was released to negative reviews and grossed less than the first one. So the sequel never happened. Instead, they took some of the sets and made the famed Mortal Kombat made the famed Mortal Kombat Conquest television series, this was better received in both of the movies, and widely considered an improvement over both of the movies. However, it did get two negative reviews from two critics, one featuring one UPW, in where they criticized, where they listed it as number 10 to 11 places where Mortal Kombat went wrong, calling this a wire food disaster. And of course, another series. I think the other series is called Fourth Letter, something like that, where they listed this as top 10 things, top ridiculous things in the Mortal Kombat franchise. And they listed this series. But in my opinion, and multiple other people's opinion, this series was awesome and was a much better improvement over the films, having more action, more fighting, more distinct styles of fighting, even more characters and better character development for the characters like Shang Tsung, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and many more. The only thing I hated was the series was canceled only after one season. That disappointed me as a kid, and it still disappoints me several years, 20 plus years later. Yeah, Mortal Kombat. That was Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat Conquest. The cast here was just as good here as they were in as they were in the films. In the films, you have Paolo Matobin portraying Kung Lao, Daniel Bernard portraying Zero, Christina Loken portraying Taja, and of course, Bruce Lockey taking over the role of Shang Tsung from Kuryoki Tagawa, and Jeffrey Meek taking over the role of Raiden from James Raymar and Christopher Lambert, and what's the other guy's name? Oh yeah, and taking in a dual role, also portraying Shao Kahn, taking over the role from Brian Thompson and portraying a more threatening Shao Kahn. And this Shao Kahn looks closer to the video games. I, however, still like Brian Thompson more, but that's just me. So yeah, this was Mortal Kombat Conquest. This series is loosely based on Mortal Kombat's 1, 2, 3, 4, and even features elements of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance and Deception to 2 to 6 years before those games would even be created. Several elements in this television series will be featured in those video games. But this series right here, Mortal Kombat, this series right here is actually set 10,000 years before the very first Mortal Kombat movie starring Robin Shao and Kuriyuki Tagawa. Tagawa and follows Liu Kang's great ancestor, the great Kung Lao and his comrades, Zero, a descendant of Sonya Blade, and Taja, a descendant of Johnny Cage, led by Raiden, as they protect the realm of Earth from the forces of Outworld, led by Shang Tsung and of course Shao Kahn. Characters featured here from the games are Kung Lao, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Noob Saibot, Reptile, Smoke and Goro via CGI, Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn, and Melina, and Rain, and Reiko, and of course Quan Chi, and even Serena are featured here in this series. So that's Mortal Kombat Conquest, and this right here ends my oh yeah, the only two things I didn't like about this series was, one was Kung Lao's upper body costume. He wears this when he's not fighting. He wears this large temple shirt. Which is just tacky, especially in fight scenes. And he only wears his vest and signature hat only once, and that's in the premiere episode when he fights and defeats Shang Tsung. The second problem I have is Kung Lao's actor Paolo Matobin doesn't do any of the fighting, doesn't do much of the fighting, and doesn't do any of the stunts. It's an obvious stunt double. That's one problem I have with this series right here. Those are only two problems I have with this awesome series. There will be video commentary reviews of each of these films and television series, and individual episode reviews of these episodes, because there's way too much to talk about in one review. What else? This has been my review of the 90s Mortal Kombat based franchise. Next is I give my thoughts on the two Mortal Kombat films. That's Mortal Kombat, that's the animated film coming out later this year, and the live action film reboot coming next year. Alright, I'm done. I'll see you guys later. Hey everybody, it's time for me to give my thoughts on the two upcoming Mortal Kombat based movies, the animated film coming out later this year and the live action reboot coming out next year. Let's start off with the animated film. There will be no pictures of these movies in the in this video, because I don't want to get a copyright, and I don't even think there are any pictures of the 2021 film yet. But anyway, there will be no pictures in this movie, right? Here there will be no pictures in this movie, and the link to the trailer that you will hear in the background will be in the description box below for those of you who already haven't seen the trailer, the trailer yet. Well, anyway, let's start off with the animated film, and I must say, after seeing the trailer multiple times, I can't wait. As much as I love as much as I love the Mortal Kombat movies, Mortal Kombat always worked better as a cartoon and live action television series and comic book versus much better than a movie. This movie right here looks like a cross between the Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm cartoon, the DC animated movies, Japanese Japanese animation, and of course Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter Alpha, the anime movies, is what this movie looks like. And even though it has the designs of it has it appears to be based on the original timelines, Mortal Kombat's 1 through 7 and 8, but it features the character designs of Mortal Kombat of the new timeline, which of course that I don't mind too much. But I like I said, I prefer the original timeline, Mortal Kombat 1 through 7 and 8, when everything was simplistic, made sense, and was surprisingly more consistent than this horror, awful time travel inspired plot for the new timeline, Mortal Kombat's 9, 10, and 11, which I like I said, which I've thought was terrible. Game wise, these games are okay, with 10 and 11 being the best, but
Why is your face doing that? Comment the headshot.
but but the storylines is absolutely terrible. So yeah, and I can't wait. And this film is supposed to come out spring. It's supposed to come out spring of this year. They don't give a date though. Now let's move on to the and the film appears to be set during, like I said, it appears to be set during Mortal Kombat 1, and according to a summary I read several weeks ago, the film will focus on Scorpion. It appears to be set during Mortal Kombat 1, but it features Quan Chi as an antagonist in the film, but it appears to be set because it features Liu Kang, Sonya, Johnny Cage, Scorpion, the original Sub Zero, Quan Chi, and of course Shang Tsung and Goro as the host of the Mortal Kombat tournament. That's pretty much the roster and cast to Mortal Kombat 1. In the setting appears to be Shang Tsung's island. So yeah, now let's move on to the 2021 film, which, to tell you the truth, when I first heard about this film, I had zero hopes for this film. I was still gonna watch it because it was Mortal Kombat, but I had zero hopes for this film, several, especially after seeing, I think his name was Tadaran, seeing his awful Nolan-inspired reboots that they were trying to plan. They were trying to plan. In my opinion, the first two Mortal Kombat films weren't, but they were near perfect. All you had to do was go closer to the storyline and throw more money at it. More money at it. But these people decided to make it overly complicated. Make it overly complicated than it needs to be. Then the Mortal Kombat Legacy series, which was okay, but I didn't really like that too much. I didn't like that adaptation too much. As a television series, it was okay, but that Mortal Kombat Legacy television series, seeing what that series was doing with Liu Kang and stuff being a bad guy, that was okay. I didn't like it in the video games, but that was okay in the video games. I do not want to see a movie based on that. I want the original timeline from Mortal Kombat's 1 through 7 and 8. 8, which is Mortal Kombat versus DC, would be hard to make because you would they have the DC license, but you're already having a hard time establishing the DC universe. Incorporating the Mortal Kombat characters into the DCEU will make it even more confusing. So let's go back to Mortal Kombat 1 through so Mortal Kombat 1 through 7. It appears to be based on Mortal Kombat 1 with elements of 2 and 5 because like Mortal Kombat 1, it features Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Kano, Scorpion, the original Sub Zero, I don't see Johnny Cage on this cast here. Johnny Cage on this cast, and of course Raiden. But like Mortal Kombat 2, it features Kung Lao and Jackson Bridge, Jax. So yeah. So then of course then of course as a then of course Natara, the vampire lady from Deadly Alliance, she makes an appearance. She's gonna make an appearance in this film. The cast members are Chin Wan portraying Shang Tsung, Ludi Lin, Zack from the Power Rangers portraying Liu Kang, Josh Lawson portraying Kano, Hiroyuki Sanada portraying Hanzo Hasashi Scorpion, Joe Taslim portraying Beihan Sub-Zero, Tadanobu Asano portraying Raiden, I've heard that name somewhere, Alyssa Cadwell portraying Natara, and Sissy Stringer portraying Melina. Actor Louis Tan and Matilda Kimber have been announced to appear in undisclosed roles, and it will be produced by James Wong and his production company Atomic Monsters Pictures, Atomic Monsters Productions. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The cast looks great. The cast looks great. There have been no trailers or leak shots or anything, but the cast looks great. I already like the setting, and yeah, this film looks like it's gonna be good. Film is gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be good. Well, that's all I have to say about this. I'll do another video when more information of the film comes out. All right, I'm finished for now. You want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.